A warning to all about to listen to this podcast. The following audio may contain spoilers and inappropriate language, but most importantly, this podcast will definitely contain some bad opinions. You have been warned, but for now, let's get on with the show. Right, so what's our rant? It can be anything, just something that'll give us a stupid question, like, what's your favourite Disney movie or something like that, except the Anfield's Wrath done that, so...
Which Zanky would you know terror? Which Zanky would you know terror?
Which Zanky would you know terror?
Lisa.
Which Ghibli would you films? Guys, please respond. That
doesn't even mean anything!
Please respond. I need to know.
I'm responding with anger and confusion!
Which Ghibli would you Ghibli?
Give me Ghibli, please.
Give me Ghibli, please.
Alright, it's gotta be something completely fucking stupid and funny.
Completely stupid.
Completely stupid.
Yeah.
Which Liverpool football club player would you take out to dinner?
Which fate would you zero?
You, Dave.
Oh, thank you.
Which fate would you stay night?
If only I played for Liverpool. Which fate would you stay in? I've heard that question being answered before.
Whoa.
Alright, how about this? Which anime character would you like to take out to dinner?
That's easy for me. I've got a waifu folder saved right here. You can't see it, but I'm like, I've got it open right here. I got all my K-On open.
We can probably talk for an hour.
What's your favorite Uzbeki reality TV show?
Hey, side note, have any of us watched JoJo, and why haven't we watched JoJo yet?
I want to watch it.
I've been watching JoJo and he loves it.
We should all watch JoJo sometime.
My coworker watches JoJo.
Looks far too over the top for me.
It's really funny. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I was talking to a couple of friends of mine about how I wanted to die, because I've already figured out how I want to die. I'm gonna tell the story real quick how I wanted to. Okay. And you see my arms flailing around.
Bear in mind, this is being recorded and this could go up on YouTube.
This is good. The way I want to die, see, I actually at one point in my life will find the timer to my death, right? And I will watch the clock as it counts down. And when I come to that point, I will walk to Mount Vesuvius, which at the time I will have reactivated. So Mount Vesuvius is about to go off again. Sorry, Italy. And at the time, death
Sorry, the rest of Europe!
Death will come to fight me, right? And instead of, like, taking me away, I actually fight him. And I beat the crap out of Death, right? And I steal his scythe. And I go to swing and I cut him in half. But I'm an idiot, so I swung too hard and I throw myself in the volcano. Which then erupts and kills everyone. Death comes back to life because he can't die and laughs at me. And I've been told that there's a volcano fight scene in JoJo, and this is something that I need to watch because they're reenacting my life's death.
There's our question of the week then. If you could pick any way to die, which way would it be?
Oh, I've already planned this one.
Oh, go on.
Which mine's
slightly, wait, hang on. Mine's slightly more boring, but I'll go ahead with mine. Mine's going to be me wearing a really, really nice suit, being stood on top of a building and having a smoke, and then saying something really cool while the building explodes. That's why I want to go out.
Just be like, Liverpool wins.
See, my plan. Oh my god.
No, you got a fucking big comfy chair up there too. You're just smoking a fag and just chilling. You're just like, Liverpool wins.
And also like, Liverpool 4, Everton 0. Big hole explosion, huge fireworks.
You gotta have that big old nice fucking morning gown on with a fucking pillow in it, and you gotta have a fucking cap and a monocle on.
No, man, I've got to be wearing a suit, and I have to be at least half the weight I am now. That's the ideal way to die for me.
What about...
Anyway, so Valk, how would you like to die?
Please, yes.
Right, I thought about this. This was the best I could think of. When I'm like, 75 to 80. I actually kind of want to live a long time, if I can. I'm going to do cocaine for the first time in my life.
Whoa.
And then I'm going to go fist fight a bear.
You'll win! Like, you won't die, you'll win!
that was
God.
the best idea come with, because it'd be fucking hilarious. It's like, man, like, I don't know, at this point I've been a vegetarian like half my life, dying to an animal. Yes, that is how I want to go, because it'd be fucking funny.
You know what, that reminds me, back in high school I had my former...
I'm gonna do a lot of cocaine! I go fist fight a bear!
That is all I want.
I had...
Oh, God.
Back back in high
least
school.
mine's a waste.
Dave, check this
Can
out.
I steal that idea? Can I go and fist fight a bear now?
No, you have to die on the building, because then the bear... And this has to happen simultaneously, by the way. I've already planned that in my death.
Ooh.
So, here's another question then. How does the rest of the AA cast fit into how they die?
Ty doesn't fit in anything.
Hey, whoa, let's leave Ty alone. He's not the fat one here.
I know. I don't fit
I was going to say,
anything.
right, for comedy's sake, Ego is just walking down the street and the building I'm on happens to be the one he's walking next to and the building just falls on top of him.
And he
Whoa,
gets
no,
blamed
what are
for
you
the
talking
bombing.
about? The building's going to fall and the police are going to get him.
Oh, wait, so Ego's the one who's blown the building
Yeah,
up?
that's what I said. He gets blamed for bombing the building.
I'm going to get so much shit for that one. Let's just edit that one out. That one's a little too extreme for me.
Okay, so Ego gets blamed for blowing the building up. He gets arrested and dies of starvation in prison.
Starvation?
Bleeark's going to fight death on top of it. Yeah, they're going to starve him to death. That's how he dies. I don't know.
Hey, kid, you want to
So
play hide the
Bleeark's
shield?
going to fight death on top of Mount Vesuvius and kill everyone in Europe. So that's Tim covered. Tim dies if he's in England.
Yeah.
I don't know. What, Dr. Cal, I don't know. How would he die?
Oh,
Snorting
Cal.
bath
Oh,
salts?
that's easy. He's going to go and try and become Bran from League of Legends, and then he's going to go fall into a fire.
So he beats you to the volcano.
No, he'd be in the base of the volcano. He'd be in the volcano already. His Skelegon being made of unobtainium, undestroyable in the volcano.
So how's Eru dying then?
He's probably going to die happy, like living his whole life watching anime. I feel like he's just going to be very content with his life. He's like, you guys are fags.
He's gonna watch the.
Die happy, spending his whole life watching anime.
I don't know. I really.
You imagine that at the age of 93 years old, Eru is sat in a really nice laid-back wing-back chair, and he sat there and he's just watched the greatest episode of fan service and bullshit and panties and boobs, and he just goes,
This is it.
and then just dies on the spot. That's how I can imagine he's gonna go out.
Or he'll just be watching the news and be like, fucking, all of us are for some reason on the news that day about us dying. He's like, you guys are fags. Nate, your wife was shit. He just like falls over dead.
Your waifu was shit, and that's his dying breath.
Gotta get it out there. Your wife was shit. Wow.
That was a very interesting question of the week then.
I guess that was our question of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm getting the year up, but I'll find a way. I don't know how I came across the clock, but like I have the clock and I have death, but like I don't have the money for the plane ticket to Europe.
So that's why I planned buying around, pretty much anywhere I could be.
Yeah, there's bears
There are lots of
everywhere.
bears in Canada.
Oh, let me continue that story from earlier. No, my buddy, my former landlord, you guys know him, but like
Yeah. We're
in
best
high
friends.
school, he got in this terrible car wreck, and details aside, he took pictures of like his hand being like all mutated from the surgery and stuff, and his leg, and he posted on Facebook. And the first comment he gets is from our buddy who says he slapboxed a bear, and everyone fucking believed him. I'm not kidding.
I'd love to see a bear up on its hind legs getting ready to pounce, and somebody just goes up and jabs it right in the nose.
I say, what are you doing in my territory? And I say,
I say, slap, punch in the nose.
How about
Slap,
thee?
punch in the nose.
Just a wee
How
jab.
about you? I'm invincible.
I'm fucking invincible. Nobody else here plays Metal
Cheers
Gear
for the
Rising.
scratch.
Fucking come
So,
at me.
anime.
I like anime.
It's alright.
It's alright, like. Just to fill any listeners in on this one, the question of the week is going to be something that doesn't necessarily have to be anime related. It just has to be a stupid question. So if you want us to answer any question, it could be anything from what's your favorite type of wood?
Right now,
That
it's
was
kind
for
of,
Valk.
oh god, please comment on our videos. We'll answer any question you ask. Please respond.
I will answer any question. What's your favorite type of wood? What's your least favorite Hawaiian island?
What's your preference, or man or woman? Preferably, men for me, but
Hey, discusses sexuality for 20 minutes.
There's this one guy.
So,
Matt.
Bleeark, there's something you wanted to rediscuss, I think,
Which
anyway.
character would you go gay for?
Oh, let's not.
Gilgamesh,
already have a
easy
list for
Gilgamesh.
this.
Everyone starts shaking their heads. This might be a good question.
I might have a bunch.
I've got Gilgamesh from Fate Zero. I'd go gay for him. He
Between
is so
him and
dreamy.
Ryder's a good one. Except for I don't think he'd be gay. I think he'd be more okay with just being bros, and I'd be like, be slightly showing my sexual undertones for him. He'd be every time I try to make a move, he'd be like, "What are you doing?"
No, he'd probably pat you on the back and go, "Nice try, but you need to man up."
Be like, "Oh,
You know what he's like.
Ryder, please." For Spock. Why are you gonna notice me, senpai? What's a senpai?
Please let me ride in your chariot just for the night.
Will you please take me in the skies on your ox?
2 oxes.
Oh. Oxen.
Oxen.
We discussed this one earlier. What's the plural for box and the plural for ox?
Which is why that's funny. Someone asked what the plural of ox was, and we were like, oxen.
It was me. And then I'm like, what's the plural for box? Boxin?
Oh, man.
English is stupid.
Alright, so don't bother asking us what anime character would you... In fact, actually, let's answer that question now. I'm going with Gilgamesh. Valk, who would you go gay for?
All of them.
Ooh.
Every free ever.
Yeah,
they're almost women, but they don't count.
I would count them as little girls, to be fair.
Which free would you eternal summer?
Eternal summer, this.
Holy fuck.
Whips
And the
out free.
webcams are on.
Whips out terror.
Fuck, I don't know.
Zonk this, whips out no terror.
I don't know. Would you go gay for my waifu, Laura Boldovic, because she's got silver hair and an eye
I'm gonna
patch?
be honest. She's the first person I thought of because she's really cute.
She's bad.
But I don't know anything about her other than the fact that she's really cute.
She's a total bitch.
She's pretty badass.
She's a total bitch.
Hey, whoa, yeah. Oh, listen, Mrs. I like the French man.
Whoa.
I don't want to hear none of that shit.
I don't want to say that. That was kind
I
of
watch too many
cute.
fucking anime with fucking little girls, and I can't say I'm going gay for a little girl.
That's kinda
That'd be
weird.
weird. Yeah, that'd be super weird.
Are you Nate?
Even if I like the character.
Are you?
Wait, the girls in Infinite Stratos aren't little girls. They're
No.
16.
I'm trying to think of other things like I've watched and enjoyed, and it's like...
I don't know. I might go gay for Seto Kaiba.
Oh, that's cheating though. Like he can stop a gun with a card. You guys have seen that, right? Where the guy's got a gun to him and he just like stops it with a card. And I'm like, can you even move in that fashion, like properly? Will the trigger have already been pulled at that point? Like, what are you doing? Why is this? Who hired this guy? Who hired John to go kill this guy? He's a fucking idiot. Like seriously, there's a bar full of killers in South Phoenix. Why don't you go there?
You can imagine that at the office, like, who the hell sent John to kill Kaiba? He can't even reload a pistol! He's alive! Why didn't you send Dave or someone? Like, Bob, I don't know.
Could have gave him a sword
They know how
or
to load a
something.
gun.
But
sir, I don't think you understand. He stopped him with a blue-eyes white dragon. Well, shit, now we're talking about something completely different here.
No, he did not use a blue eyes for that. The card was destroyed. It was probably like fucking Crass Clown or some bullshit card that nobody plays.
Oh, I don't know, maybe he found a Karibo on the floor and just went, I'm going to rub this in Yugi's nose and use it to stop a gun.
I want to rewatch Yu-Gi-Oh! So bad now, but it's so fucking long.
Don't.
You mean...
I rewatched it recently, it's not great.
Yeah, the 4Kids dub is even better.
No, that's like when I tried to rewatch Beyblade, which we've already been over.
Let it rip.
Shit.
I mean, considering I actually like play Yu-Gi-Oh as well quite a bit, I kind of watch this. I'm like, that doesn't work like that. That's against the rules.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Are you summoning 3 blue eyes in 2 turns? You can't fucking do that. Where are your sacrifices?
Did you just summon a whole bunch of monsters in one turn? Yeah, so that's against the rules, isn't it? Screw the rules. I have money.
I have blue eyes.
Screw the rules. By the way,
in the Shadow Realm.
What a fucking... And I want to point out how stupid Kaiba is for repping out blue eyes, because he could have had 4 blue eyes, and then he had blue eyes 4-headed dragon, not the 3-headed dragon.
Why was the 3-headed one called the Ultimate Dragon? Surely you'd call it something else. If there could have been a 4th head, then why is it the Ultimate Dragon?
The blue eyes almost as good dragon.
Doesn't go past Ultimate. Let's think Digimon. Wasn't there something after Ultimate?
That would have been the perfect name for it. The blue eyes almost as good as the perfect dragon.
No, the blue eyes, the 4-headed one would be the blue eyes Hydra. That would be cool. Sorry, I'm fanficking about that. That wasn't funny. That was just me being fanfic right now.
Go back to Tumblr, nerd.
Hey, fuck off, mate. Can I ask you?
Alright, so Bleeark, you floated an idea, like, we discussed this on the last Reanimate, which is going to be cut up and put into a highlight reel sometime in the next few weeks.
Hopefully I'm
butchered and put in. We're just going to butcher out the good parts and you can, like, a good steak.
Yeah, well, we have to cut out, unfortunately, as much as you guys might want to hear it, we have to cut out the part where Valk is incredibly racist.
She was kind of drunk, and, like, if we named it, like... It's almost unfortunate. If we named it Reanimate the Good Parts, we would just have to play the credits, because that's pretty much the best part of the show.
I think I've already apologized to Dave like 3 times for that last episode, because I insisted we do a Reanimate, and I was like, it'll be great, and I was so drunk, and then we finished
Let's not forget the part where you argued about League of Legends for a good 5 minutes as well.
We talked about some League of Legends husbandos, yeah.
Right, so Bleeark, what was your question?
What was my question?
Does a comedy anime need a plot?
Does it? Yeah, does a comedy anime need a plot?
Question.
No, like a legitimate question. We were talking about it because the difference between The Devil Was a Part-Timer versus no, Valk. Okay, you have to side with me because you're an Eben old fag, right? What? Like
you're not an old fag.
You watched Daily Lives of High School Boys, so you know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of, and that's why I'm saying no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the discussion was The Devil Was a Big Boob Timer versus
I haven't seen
Daily Lives of High School Girls.
Please no spoiler, Reno.
I could do a small review on The Devil As a Part-Timer after we've had this discussion if you want.
No, I don't think comedy really has to have a plot.
Well, there's our answer, guys. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next time on the next episode of Reanimate.
It can have like a timeline. Like Daily Lives of High School Boys had a timeline. Like they graduated at the end, but it didn't fucking matter what happened
spoilers. In between. Angel Beats is not something you want to spoil. Oh shit.
And like again, like I'm watching WataMote, and it doesn't have much of a plot line.
It's so good though, isn't it?
No, you see, The Devil Is a Part-Timer doesn't have much of a plot line. He's left his own world, and now he's working part-time in a McDonald's shop, which is we're popping it off of the working man, I like it. Working part-time in a McDonald's, and he becomes a shift manager, which kind of in a way reminds me of Captain Baz, but... But yeah, and that's just kind of like the running theme to it. There isn't much of a plot to it, and what plot there is just full of holes. But I don't know, I kind of agree that a comedy doesn't have to have a plot, but I think it's better if it does, as long as the plot isn't taken too seriously. Do you have an
example of a good comedy that has a good plot? I don't know, like, of any that we could all relate to.
I don't know, The Devil's a Part-Timer is not too bad. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's okay. I suppose the only ones that do... Have a do what?
Hamadingle.
The only comedies that I've seen that do have a nice running plot that isn't too serious are romantic comedies. So Ananatsu the Masaru, for example, that had a fairly decent plot, and it did go a little bit batshit insane towards the end, but it was still decent. It was more romance than it was comedy.
A very serious question. Which devil would you part-time?
What? I've got to find the name. I definitely have. I have an answer to that question. Give me a minute.
Send pictures.
Okay. Rika Suzuki from The Devil Is a Part-Timer. I would definitely part-time her. Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that ass. Yeah, no, that ass.
Full-time any... Oh my god, man, Jesus Christ.
Would you take
I don't like being pervy about this kind of stuff, especially in public, but Jesus Christ, she has got an arse that could slay 1,000 men where they stand. Just, oh my god.
Damn.
Like in this one episode, she's walking around in a tracksuit and just...
It's not great.
Restrain yourself, David. Restrain.
Yeah,
oh my god, she is just... Again, I hate...
Dave made the sound. Oh, dude, your vocals are really good. I don't care what anyone says. I would part-time Dave. Which Dave would you part-time?
I'd part-time me, but every time I look in the mirror, it keeps cracking.
He asks what's cracking, and then you laugh, and you both point at each other. Hey! And he just goes, I am. Hey, Lamau.
Just back onto the topic then. If a comedy anime were to have a plot, I mean, how serious would you want it to be, and do you think you would enjoy it less if it were quite serious?
Yes.
I don't think it's something I'd like put as a factor. I'm saying like a comedy doesn't have to have like a solid plot.
No, I'm just saying if a comedy were to have a plot, like let's say it's definitely going to have some kind of a running plot.
I wish I could think of an example of a comedy with a plot, but I can't right now.
Check through my anime list.
I'll look at my Mal account, but yep, first thing we do, right to the Mal account.
I was gonna say Oremo's kind of a comedy.
Yeah,
with
I've only got like recent shit I've watched and none of that is comedy with plot. Like, I don't even have Daily Lives on here, and that was the first thing I thought of. Why have we never discussed Daily Lives of High School Boys on Anime?
That's what I want to know. I really do.
I mean, Danganronpa's like comically bad. Does that count?
Well, that's like saying Boku no Cheetah was a comedy.
Boku no Pico. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't think
Pokemon's a perfect example. That's kind of a comedy, right?
Comedy.
It's a kids. It's entertainment. So I'd list it as I'd put comedy in its entertainment because it's not very funny, but it's supposed to be.
Just to give a quick wrap up to that, then we're all agreed that a comedy doesn't need to have a plot in order for it to be really good.
Because Daily Lives of High School Boys is just absolute comedy gold, and if there was a comedy standard, that would be my 10 out of 10 comedy.
Just as a final note on this, would you be turned off a comedy if you knew that there was going to be a serious plot to it?
No.
Because WataMote is supposed to have a plot, but it's like...
Oh, wow.
No,
well, the plot for the show is supposed to be that it's supposed to be this cringeworthy girl that everyone relates to, and that's why...
timeline, but that doesn't mean plot.
Well, no, like the plot in it is supposed to be her life. It's not supposed to be a timeline-based plot. There's not a story behind it. It's just like, this is how awkward she is, and for some reason it didn't sell well in Japan because everyone they're related to it too also know about the BDs. And that's how we're not getting a season 2.
But overall, no. Like, if I were told, hey, this is a comedy that has a plot line, I wouldn't be like, oh, gross, I can't watch it now.
No, but I mean, a plot line that's trying to take itself seriously.
No, you can't take yourself seriously.
How do you take yourself seriously with a comedy?
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't, like, try to have serious forced moments when, like, it's supposed to be funny. You just can't. There's really no explanation in my opinion, anyway.
Maybe there could be, but I haven't seen an example of it, so I can't really imagine it.
Maybe it's like split into 3 parts. Like, the first part's comedy, then we get something really, like a really heavy storyline right in the middle, and then we end off with a nice light note where all the characters can take the piss out of each other.
Like a really bad movie.
Yeah, sort of like a really bad movie.
You guys ever seen Gamer? That's exactly what that is.
I have not seen it. But,
it's on Netflix. Like, if you have Netflix, like, throw that up on. It's really bad, but it's like it's supposed to be comedically bad, like Danganronpa, for example, because for some reason that show was.
I was joking about that. There's nothing funny about Danganronpa.
It's just funny really because it's so bad. Like, okay, I remember watching episodes 5 and 6, and I'm like, who done it? And I was like, wait, there's one person who could have done this one, and we know who it is. Who done it?
That's what I really liked about. Like, I liked Danganronpa when it first started, but it got really formulaic, and then towards like 5 or 6, as you were saying, then you're like, no, this is just exactly the same as last time, and we all know who the murderer is. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out.
It's basically villain of the week, but unlike Kill la Kill, it didn't really like. I like the show for what it is, but that ending was so disappointing. Not disappointing, upsetting. Because I like the show, I just don't like the show.
So another question I kind of want to ask, it's something I've been meaning to ask for a long time. Are there any shows that you've watched that have been like almost like a 10 out of 10, 9, 8, 7 out of 10, and the ending's just completely blown it for you?
Oh, Soul Eater for sure.
Well, I've never seen Soul Eater.
Oh, well. I mean, Bones did it. There's people who did Eureka 7, but like, they decided because, hey, the manga's not done, let's make our own story. And I'm not even talking about the ending. I'm talking about like the last 20-something episodes. They decided, like, it's still a good show, and it's still a good ending. It's just not good.
Do you want to know that? Do you want to know what's exactly like that?
Yo.
Fullmetal Alchemist.
Don't talk shit about Fullmetal Alchemist. I loved that ending.
That ending, I love the show, but that ending, not Brotherhood, Fullmetal Alchemist, that ending was awful.
No, Fullmetal Alchemist ending for me was very satisfying.
Very sad.
Well, let's argue the points here. Let's talk about that, Dave. Go ahead and get your file out while I smoke a cigarette.
What didn't I like about the ending?
That's a good question.
I'm trying to. Is there a way to do it without spoiling it?
I don't care if you spoil it personally.
No, it's just for people listening to, because this is like the major spoiler of the show. It all leads up to this moment. Like, this is one of those endings. Can we give a warning
and say fast forward 2 minutes if you don't want to?
Yeah, I'm going to say warning right now. I will spoil the ending to Fullmetal Alchemist. And right about now, when Ed. Was it Ed, the blonde-haired guy?
Ed.
Is it? Yeah, Edward's the blonde-haired kid. When he gets transferred over to the other world in that whole nonsensical way that it was done, that didn't make any sense. Why was he transferred over to the other world?
Because
how did Al get his body back?
He used the fucking Philosopher's Stone. Like, because the equivalent exchange, like, in order to get his body back, he had to transfer his body into the other world or something like that. I haven't watched that show in a little over 6 years. No, it's been 4 years now, because I watched it my sophomore year.
That was the third show that I ever watched. I remember it clearly because I was still watching it on a legal streaming site.
Yeah, no, I was watching it on Netflix. That was probably like the 4th show I ever watched. Like, and that's why I'd like to rewatch it just so I can get a grasp of what the show is really about. Now that I like have a grasp of what anime should be, or at least the storyline, because the storyline is really in depth. It's really good. It's got like the difference between science and religion, and the arguments between them aren't ever like fought about, but they're really big plot twists in the show.
It was kind of, in a way, like the end of Fullmetal Alchemist, that it was going to start full circle again. Like, in the beginning of Fullmetal Alchemist, the goal was find the Philosopher's Stone, get Al's body back, and now that Al's got his body back, we're going to restart again and try and get Ed back from the other world. I didn't like that. I don't know, there was just something about the ending that left me really, really unsatisfied after like 50-odd episodes of just sheer brilliance. That show was fantastic. I absolutely love it.
Did you watch
that ending just...
the post-series movie, The Conqueror of Shambhala?
No, I didn't watch the movie.
I was gonna say that gives a little more in depth of the ending. Not like it's still the same ending because it's not a movie so much as it is just that same thing but longer.
Yeah, somebody did mention to me it might make a little bit more sense if I watched it, but at that point I heard about Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood and I thought, yeah, I'll probably watch that instead, but I just, in the 2 or 3 years it's been since I watched that, I just haven't had the chance to go back and watch it.
But Brotherhood,
well, I've had the chance, but...
Brotherhood's like the first 10 episodes of Brotherhood is like the entirety of the 50 episodes of the original Fullmetal Alchemist, but more or less fast-paced and like less filler, less detail. Because like...
it sticks more to the manga, does it not?
Brotherhood sticks way more to the manga. Like, the original Fullmetal Alchemist was just made as fan service, or not fan service, like, Brotherhood was made for fan service, because people were bitching about how they didn't get their manga, that's fine, because I completely understand, with, like, Soul Eater as a perfect example, but when they made Brotherhood, they pretty much showed, because it's more manga-related in the first 10 episodes and the first 50 episodes of Fullmetal Alchemist, versus the rest of the 40 episodes, or 40-some-odd episodes, however many other episodes are in Brotherhood, to show that it's more manga related. It has a way different ending. It's way more detailed. A lot more things happen.
I've been told the ending to that one is much more satisfying than it is to FMA.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Brotherhood's definitely something in the pipeline to watch, but I don't know. It's... Because I've already seen it once already, I'm thinking, am I going to enjoy it the same again? Or, I mean, I know Brotherhood's going to be a lot different, but I don't know. Maybe I've got to wait a bit more time to pass before I can finally get around to watching that and fully appreciate it.
I did watch the first 7 episodes with a couple of my friends on Netflix back in the day when I had my Xbox, and one thing I didn't like is the animation is noticeably different. I don't really know how to know it. I know the chins.
I did notice the character design was a bit different.
The chins on the character designs aren't so leniently... they're more circular than they are just classic anime point.
Was it made by a different studio?
I think it was made by Funimation both ways. I'm not sure. Or not Funimation, Funimation dubbed it. I don't remember who made it. Either way, they also, like, by the way, I only watched the dubs for these ones.
I did as well, and that dub is fantastic. I won't hear anything bad about that dub. It's fantastic.
It's the one problem with it is, though, in Brotherhood, they changed around a couple voices, and even for the more noticeable characters, I think Al has a different voice. I can't be too sure. Maybe it's just him and it sounds different, but there's a couple of the main characters, like what's his head, Fire Guy. He's got a different voice.
Yeah, but both of them are made by Studio Bones, FMA and FMA.
They were both made by Bones. Okay.
Right.
And yeah, I just want to point out Bones did do the thing with the manga with both Soul Eater and Eureka 7. Bones, I think, is known for that, but I don't care because I like them as a studio.
Bones are a good studio, I won't argue that. Yeah. I was just trying to think of more shows that had an ending that kind of left me unsatisfied. Death Note to an extent, and it's not because of the last 2 episodes. I think the last 2 episodes are fantastic, but the build-up towards the end was just so bad compared to the first half of the series. I don't know what you guys would say about that.
It's like you almost saw it coming 10 episodes in advance. Like, you knew it was going to happen. We're not going to argue we knew it was going to happen. It's just it was so poorly delivered. I don't know. The Death Note, I feel like it's a great show. It's a wonderful show. I'm going to say that. It's just like that ending.
I definitely do have my number one pick of a show that was so great. Well, in my opinion, was so great. Don't get me wrong, flaws, plenty of them, but this was the only show I've watched, like, episodes 1 through to 12 and then wanted to rewatch it straight away because of how much I enjoyed it. But the ending was left so wide open for a second season, and it hasn't come out yet. We don't know if it's ever going to come out, and that's BTOOOM. It's in all capital letters. BTOOOM! You've got to shout it like that.
BTOOOM!
Yeah, but BTOOOM is an absolutely fantastic show, but that ending was just so horrible. It just had this horrible romantic cliche that you could just see happening. It's kind of like, oh, they're finally getting together, even though they had all of these complications, and yet they've all fucked off and been blown to the side. Now they like each other, and now this is happening. It just ended, and the way that it ended was kind of like, well, you gotta wait for season 2 to see what happens next, because there's still at least half the people alive on the island. That was definitely left a bitter taste in my mouth, but at the same time, as I say, I enjoyed it so much, I wanted to rewatch it again. But I'm not going to be completely satisfied with that series, and I can't give it a high enough score until I get that second series.
The main show I could think of that was so disappointing, but I'd watched it, Katoura-San. I bring it up all the time. The first episode, first 15 minutes, really good show, up until the halfway mark of the episode. And for the shits and giggles, I actually watched the rest of the show, and holy shit, it's like you expected everything that happened, and at the end, like, the bad guy is supposed to be a bad guy, and then they're like, you're the bad guy, and they're like, you should be a good guy, and then the good guy's like, okay, or the bad guy's like, okay, I'll be a good guy, and then the cops take him away. Ooh. And that's
pretty bad in terms of endings. Jesus Christ.
It's like the animation's nice and
I'm so happy I didn't bother with that.
The comedy's there.
Oh, the animation in that show is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, the animation's great. The comedy's there. It's just so disappointing plot-wise that I almost wanted to cry. That's why, like, I still have it on my shows that I would watch again, but I don't think I'd watch it again anytime soon.
So I'm going to ask Valk if she's got any shows in a moment, but there's one show I'm going to mention that I think Bleeark will want to punch me over, but I honestly think the ending to Mirai Niki was a bit stupid.
What are you talking about? This ending to that show was fucking awful.
Oh, I thought you actually liked the ending. Yeah, that show.
No, the ending of that show was fucking ass pull. I'm not going to spoil it. It's like,
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Like,
it was.
Have you been reading the Naruto manga? Like,
crazy,
that's what that is. I don't know if anyone out there has been reading the Naruto manga, but holy shit, what the fuck are these ass pulls? Like, everyone's god now. What? Stop it! I'm not kidding. Like, spoilers, but holy shit, Madara, you can't do that.
I mean, honest to God, like, I think everyone should watch Mirai Niki. I think it's a really good show, but Jesus Christ, there is a certain, there is a really big supernatural element to that show, but it's kind of like like the last episode. My favorite go-to line is like the creator was walking through the studio and some guy was like, "What's going on with this scene? It's at a 7. Give me a 10." And he just turned the craziness up to level fucking 10. And there's people flying around, and you're like,
"There's death happening.
Where did this come from?
Yuno's doing her thing.
Where did this come from? Was this supposed to be like a good shocking, like, oh my god, I did not see this coming, or was it supposed to just make you go, what the fuck is this? What's going on? Like, in anger, pure anger. So yeah, Mirai Niki, really bad ending. Valk, have you got any?
I can't think of any right now. I think an ending upsetting me doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad ending, because, like, Attack on Titan pissed me off.
Yeah. But at least we know with Titan we're definitely getting a second season. Like, BTOOOM is still, like, on the verge of maybe not.
Yeah.
What do we think about the ending of Angel Beats?
I didn't like it.
I know. Was it though?
It was the worst part of the show.
I think they should have ended it before they ended it. Like, they could have gone a completely different direction.
I know what they did with the ending, and it's like, yeah, that's cool. It sucks. Like, I was kind of into it the first time I watched it. It was kind of like, you know, it all kind of ties together, it's cute. And then you watch it and you're like, no, this is dumb.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
No,
also, yeah, I didn't like Angel. I don't like Angel.
I did.
I didn't too much either, but I don't think that's in any way the worst part of the show. I think the worst part of the show is the guy with the black hair and the cap. I always forget his name.
TK.
He's got not TK.
The
guy with yeah, Mr. Hypnotizing Man.
Oh, I liked him.
Yeah, he's pretty homosexual.
His name started with an N.
No.
Naori or something. I can't think of how.
Naori.
That sounds about right. But yeah, that part was just the part in the baseball field with the rain and the hug. And I was like, oh my god, this is such horribly forced drama.
That was kind of like an ass pull.
That made me
I'm gonna keep saying the word ass pull because I just found out what it means not too long ago.
Oh my god, Nate.
It's happening. Ass pulls galore. That's an ass pull. That's an ass pull. There's an ass pull.
We're all ass pulls. Yeah, no.
You're an ass pull.
You get an ass pull. You get an ass pull. Right here on Oprah.
I was actually kind of okay with this character. His story was a little
weird,
dull, but it was still understandable. Like, it was relatable. Yeah, but I was still okay with it. I was alright with him.
No,
I liked him there being a comic relief character after the spoilers happens, but like as a comedy character, he was fantastic, and the interaction between him and blue-haired guy, what's his name?
The guy who gives homo lust. Yeah,
the interactions between those two, that was fantastic. But yeah,
I liked him.
That was worse than the ending for me, I think.
The ending for me was the worst part of the show.
Well, the ending was pretty much like, it was good because like you have to come to terms with what's happening because you know it has to happen. You can't, pretend like it's not going to happen. You have to come to terms that it's happening. But they also went into a direction that I honestly think they shouldn't have gone, especially with Angel.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like, man, they could have just, both stayed back, but instead they had to bring up this stupid fucking thing.
That's a spoiler.
Alright, okay, another spoiler warning for Angel Beats. So, again, skip ahead if you haven't watched Angel Beats yet. Although if you listen to this podcast, ahead. I don't know why. Yep, skip back and then skip forwards.
That way like we said this before or after.
One thing I just want to say, watching Angel Beats back for the second, third, fourth, fifth, 80 millionth time, is it didn't really hit me in the first time I watched it, but it definitely did afterwards. It's like, did Otanashi just get friend-zoned and friend-zoned really hard?
I got fucking maximum friend-zoned, and then we're like, oh man, I can't wait to donate my organs.
She never said I love you. She never kissed him. She didn't hug him back. She just said, thank you for the heart, and then...
Yeah, and then he fucking plays Connect for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I thought there was only 12 episodes in Angel Beats, and I went on Netflix 2013. I think it was March, mid-2013. Dave, you were there when I was telling you about it.
So that's another good question. Which ending are we talking about here? Episode 12 or epilogue?
The epilogue is the real ending, though.
Oh shit, guys, what is epilogue?
Epilogue is 13.
I told you about that. It's like after episode 12 finished, and
I watched an OVA, but I don't know if I saw episode 13.
Yeah, that's episode 4.5. No, but the epilogue's only 3 minutes long.
Oh.
That's when I said that's when we find out what happens, what Otanashi decides he wants to do. Shit. So again, that's the thing that leaves it wide open for a season 2. Mm-hmm. Which now that I've had more time to think about it and reflect on it,
how would they actually continue that into a season 2?
Bring a whole new cast of characters in.
Because
remember, I'd rather than just remake the entire thing.
Just remember though that the plane of existence they're on is supposed to be for children or people with bad childhoods.
Yeah.
So I mean,
so you could bring in a whole new cast of characters, but the only problem will be it'll just be about them trying to resolve their problems because as far as we all know, there's no enemy left.
That's the thing.
There's no enemy left to fight.
We already know, what the problem is. It's like, well, there's no mystery to it anymore. Yeah, but he can just walk up and be like, hey, this is what you have to do to leave.
But it's not like you can just come to terms with your bad childhood.
Exactly. It's not as easy as we're making it out to be. You can't just go up to somebody and just go, yeah, you just need to forget about this really bad thing, or come to grips with what you've already done.
He's already helped
and then
people
you can
with
move
this.
on.
Like, we've already seen what it's like for him to help people with this. So if they did a season 2 and that was all it was, it'd be really...
He only done it with one person. He only done it with Yui.
Yeah.
No, he helped more people, didn't he?
No, he tried, but it was just Yui,
what about baseball
specifically.
kid? What's his name? Hinata.
No, Hinata just went. Hinata's thing was with. He came to grips. He already came to grips before Yui. That's why he stayed.
Is that what made Otanashi realize?
Do you remember the baseball game? Mm-hmm. And he's going to catch it, and we have the flashback, and then that's where we find out he's done drugs and stuff like that. I think that's the point when he could have moved on, but he decided to stay.
Oh, no, it was.
Because when Yui finally disappears, that's when he says, "I'm going to stay through until the end and make sure everybody else moves on fine."
They put the good guy card.
So I don't think Otanashi had anything to do with that.
No, you're right. I don't know. Like, if they made a season 2 with what we already know, it would be boring because we already know all of this.
I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think that's going to come down to what kind of cast of characters do we have, how likable the characters are,
they would have to make a really fucking good cast of characters to top it.
They really would, yeah. But to be honest with you, like, the only characters that were genuinely interesting in Angel Beats, like, Angel to an extent was interesting. Otanashi was kind of interested. I mean,
I liked almost all of the background characters in Angel Beats. That was one thing.
The background characters were pretty cool, but we didn't really get to, again, as we said, make it longer and let's hear what their stories were.
That's the thing. Like, if they made a whole new cast of characters, I'd be upset that I didn't learn about the characters that I actually liked in the last season.
Yeah, like the rest of the band members.
I did like most of the background characters in Angel Beats.
It is going to be hard to follow that cast of characters, as we were saying, but just one interesting thing, like, I've heard this question being asked before, so we're running about 40 minutes, so, about average time with all the cuts and stuff like that. So, one question I do want to ask in the future, or we could answer it now if you feel like we've got time, has anime actually made a difference in your life at all? Because it has for me, to a certain extent. So just on the topic of Angel Beats, it got me thinking then. When I watched that episode with Otanashi, and again, spoilers as to why he died and stuff like that, I was so emotionally destroyed by that scene. I was like, oh god, this is heartbreaking. I actually became an organ donor after that point.
Spoilers, I'm an organ.
I actually...
I'm one big
I sort of
organ.
did the same thing. I had to double check all of my shit to make sure I was actually a donor.
I asked my mom if I could, but she says you're a smoker and you drink too much. You're not donating anything.
No.
And then I just looked at him and just go, okay, I wear glasses so my eyes are fucked. Okay, so I smoke so my lungs are fucked. And I drink too much, so my liver's probably fucked as well. But maybe some intestines or a stomach might be some use to something.
You guys want a heart? It's alright. It's when you're clogged with fat,
I was already signed up for it, but I couldn't remember at the time, and I was like fumbling through my wallet, and I was like, "Where's my cards?" And I was like looking, and I was like, "Oh, okay, we're good."
Gotta make sure.
Yeah, after that point, I just thought to myself, that's I have to, if I've been a useless shite for the past 20 I think it was 19 when I was watching. I've been a useless bastard for the past 19 years, but at least if I die, when I die, I might actually be of some use to somebody.
Yeah,
you never know. Maybe you could give someone your kidneys and they might enjoy it for a while.
I'm pretty sure that's on our driver's license this year, which is why I was already all signed up for it and shit, but yeah.
There we go. My kidneys shouldn't... Touch wood and whistle, my kidneys should be fine. Somebody can have my kidneys.
It could be, or you could have a kidney stone. I mean, in that case, they just gotta piss out a fucking rock.
Horrible hipster glasses, they can have my eyes as well. Yeah. If they don't mind a lazy eye as well.
I don't know if anything other animes, I don't know if anything else has really affected me. I keep hoping Free will make me want to learn how to swim, but I'm still afraid of water.
You don't know how to swim?
She doesn't like water.
I'm terrified of water.
Man,
She's hydrophobic
if
as
we
fuck.
meet up next year, I'm going to throw you into a pool.
She will actually cry. Like, we've already gone over this. Valk has shared with us like how much she doesn't like water. She doesn't like rain. That's how much she doesn't like water. She doesn't even drink water.
I like rain.
She actually doesn't like her body because it's 90% water.
I like the song "Rain" by Trivium as well. That's how much I like rain.
Being immersed in water freaks me out, and I need to learn to get over that. Ew.
I look pretty good in a bathing costume. I could teach you how to swim.
Ooh, that might teach me how to swim.
I could be there sitting in the background
and my half-naked body and my lovely bra on in the middle of a fucking pool.
Lovely bra.
Come, Valk. Come learn to swim with me.
No, I'd still be sitting in the background eating a burger, man. Hey guys, you wanna go swimming? I might join here.
I can't swim. I might get cramp if I don't stop eating for the next half hour and then eat another burger. There's me gone for another half an hour.
It's been half an hour. Right? I should probably get another burger before I starve to death.
So we covered bad endings. Speaking of bad endings, thank you very much for listening to Reanimate. You've been here with myself, Archer Skye. You've been here with Bleeark. And you've been here with Valk.
See you next time.
Yeah, you make a noise. Well, make a noise.
Which Zankyou would you terror?
So that is the question we are leaving with you, the viewers. Which Zankyou would you in fact terror? What was the question we asked in the beginning? How would you like to die? Let us know how you would like to die. Can you top doing a line of cocaine and fucking fisticuffs with a bear? Can you top that? If so, I might invite you to be on the podcast so you can explain it to everybody, because I think that's funny as fuck. By the way, just as a quick announcement, the Anime Broad crew is actually looking to recruit at least 1 or 2 more people. The people we're after are people who read a lot of manga, because we feel that might actually be a good section to have every now and then. So you won't be a permanent member of the crew. You'll just be on every now and then. Is there a manga season? I don't know. Beginning of manga season? I don't know. We'll invite you on every now and then. And we need somebody who's into sports anime, and you'll be invited on sports.
I started looking into Slam Dunk today, but that's about it.
I still want to find out. I actually fought death on a volcano. You can go fuck yourself.
So, if you are really big into sports anime, and I mean, I've seen 1 or 2 and I enjoyed them. I mean, religiously watch sports anime. Are you prepared to watch every sports anime in a season chart? Because I know for a fact none of us would be. So, if you're prepared to do that, send us a message, leave us a comment, let us know if you'd be interested. All you need is bad opinions and a good microphone. Then you can be a part of the Anime Abroad podcast crew. Do you read manga religiously?
Really need a good microphone?
They need a microphone that's just as good as R3.
Yeah, you can't be going through like a tunnel on the freeway if you're like on the mic.
Don't use a hamster and a toaster glued together as a microphone. Yeah. I don't know where that came from.
The hamster wheel and the toast. No, we get it. It's a laptop reference. I get it. No, that's fine. I get it.
It's got to be a microphone. It can't just be a laptop microphone. We make an exception for Ego because his opinions are worse than everybody else.
Don't make an exception for me.
Also, the fact that he hasn't been in the last 8 podcasts.
Faggot.
That's not my fault. Lord knows I tried. Yeah. He got his own show because he hasn't been on that often.
Which, by the way, I did like. I liked that one.
I liked it too.
I liked it as well. So yeah, do you read manga religiously? Do you watch sports anime religiously? And do you have a history of watching and reading lots of manga and lots of sports anime? If you do, let us know. Give us a comment. Drop us an email at TheAnimeAbroadPodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget, you can check us out on iTunes now. Just search for The Anime Abroad Podcast. You won't find Ego Without Amigos and Reanimate on there. It's just for the podcast only. If you're hearing us anywhere else, check us out on YouTube. Just search for The Anime. I don't know how this will get anywhere, but The Anime Abroad Podcast. Give us a like on Facebook. I'll leave all the links in the descriptions below. Follow us on our dead Twitter account that Cal still hasn't been given the password to. And we will see you all next time in the next episode of Reanimate.
Starring Nick.
Please tell me you didn't hit stop.
I did it.
Oh shit, I gotta go hit stop.
Yes!